Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. I'm Cactus. Everyone but Hans. Someone's hand went to Elias and grabbed him by the throat. Neither Hans nor I were quick enough to react to this moment. A soldier with a red uniform took Elise hostage. Together with him, he entered the radio cabin and stopped near the window, with the enemy petrified, tightly squeezing his neck and as a hostage, with his arm holding parabola at his temple.
Were your headquarters where the soldiers you took hostage? What were you done to them?
Elias faced them and always had been pale, completely white, without even realizing he was strangling him for grip and help. Elias was fighting back all the time. He was parting his lip and breathed heavily.
Why are you keeping silence, you filth? Do you want me to blow his brains out? Or maybe you could try talking to him in experiments, huh? We'll tear him apart, bit by bit, create a new soldier. What do you think?
The enemy turned his gun towards us.
Where are your headquarters? Where are the prisoners?
Soldier's eyes blazing red, fury that could go no longer, keeping the overflowing hatred inside. I could feel the hatred spill all over me. Hans froze. I looked sideways at him. I remembered. I had a revolver tucked behind my back. If I could manage to quickly take it out and shoot, Elias would be free, but I could start hesitating. I could also try charging at the enemy and fight. I could try to disarm him, but he could also fire and get him. What should I do? Shoot him. I have but one chance. I should use it. This is my only way to win. I trust my comrades. Only with Wanger will help me.
So, lad, since you won't talk, would you like to see what's inside your friend's head? Mind you, kids, I'm not going to wait forever. 1, 2...
He turned the muzzle of the parabola towards Hans, and the latter looked sideways as he might shift the motion. I took the revolver behind my back, hardly aimed, and pulled the trigger. Two fingers froze for a moment. The enemy's extended hand got limp and dropped down. First there was the sound of metal hitting wood, and then there was a thud from two fallen human bodies. Hans looked forward at the victim of my shot with big eyes, and then he stepped forward to help Eliza free himself of the corpse's heavy arms.
Good aim. How did you do that?
Elsa grasped my hand, and I pulled him out. I'm surprised myself. I don't really know what happened. Perhaps because of the shock? Are you the one who shot him, Nemo? I forget that I was answering to the blind person and nodded, but it seems like I had already everything. Elias crouched next to the corpse and found a bullet hole. It was very center of the forehead with his fingertips. Good aim. Hans frowned, his emotionless reflected on his face. I was a suspicious guy for him. It was a sharp shot. Consonance or a constant pattern? I was hard to hear Hans' slight replies, and the fear of unquestioned were filling the air. For them, I was more alien than a dead body than the enemy. Even for me, it was hard for me to trust, so probably just impossible. Let's leave him here. We need to help the others. Wouldn't it be better for us to stay for a while? It's still too dangerous outside. Elias frowned a bit. Perhaps it hurt him that I was so straightforward about his weakness. Nemo's right. Right now it should be best to stay safe. We need to stay alive. You know that yourself. Elias faced the expression and became distinct. You are right. I will stay in the basement until it all calms down. Hans left for the radio cabin. The scene that appeared in front of me was shocking. Dozens of sightless eyes were casting heavenwards a glance. So much blood on the uniform, the fallen to tell sure which side was lost soldiers and who was winning. Forgive Elias, Nemo. Why do you say that all of a sudden? If not for his insecurity, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. What do you mean? I feel uneasy talking about it. Just don't tell Eliza what I'm gonna tell you, okay? Of course. You see, Elias suffers from a lot of his blindness. He's afraid of that, and he might become burdened, so he wants to fight just like we do. He doesn't appreciate his intelligence. So this is why he wants the first one to dash to the radio cabin and then open the door and got attacked? Yes, often he gets into trouble. I do my best to stay close, but I'm not always quick enough to follow him. Just don't think bad of him. He's a good guy, really. Before I could say I didn't even think about changing my opinion of Elias, Hans abruptly changed the subject. All of our soldiers should be near the southern wall. I'm not sure the western Elias supposed. We heard the explosion after all. Most likely it happened there. Nodding feebly, Hans suddenly approached the dead corpse and crouched next to him. Judging by the black uniform, it was one of his comrades. Hans pursued his lips and looked away. Don't look. I took a step back after a short pause, dashing towards the western wall. We could hear the raging battle, sounds near the western wall, and from afraid to get closer and carefully, trying to hide beneath the trees. I saw everyone had a chance to meet in the morning. They were fighting valiantly and skillfully. While Hans and I were still hiding in the bushes, the sound of a dozen feet stomping past could be heard us. Those were reinforcements, Elias requested. Hans took over the fight alongside them. I also couldn't stay aside and stood up straight. I felt the fight trust me, obeyed for the same for me. I was about to use the revolver when somewhere on the flank a man assaulted me, pinning me down to the ground. He was completely covered in mud. He was also growling from the wounds marked his body. I tried pushing him away. This made him squeeze my shoulders even stronger. Die! Just die! For a split second, he removed one of my hands and took a rock, that moment enough for me to roll over and sit on top of the man. I started wrestling, trying to throw me off. My body acting reflexing, clutched a throat. My opponent started to choke me. The soldier died quickly. After killing him, I picked up the revolver that stood on the corpse, starting to shoot the enemies from the bushes. I didn't even have much ammo. I came out of the holding and ran for it. Close combat. I couldn't deal with the first enemy, who attacked me. Quickly, the second one attacked me, twisting his neck. After that, another two soldiers lashed at me. I managed to wring the head of them, and the other two who attacked from behind started squeezing my neck with his arms. I released the hostage unwillingly, lashed onto my opponent, trying to get him off me. Small fry. I started moving from side to side to get loose. Due to the lack of oxygen, my inability to free myself, and a strong grip, my legs gave way. It takes you too long to die, scum. Gathering all my strength I had left, I jolted back. My opponent lost his footing, and felt like he was bringing me down with him. At the moment, his grasp became really weak. I could hardly take a few short breaths, and the soldier was moving under me. I could barely get back up. My senses of another man towards me prepared to strike. I saw a dagger flash in his hands. I quickly rolled to the side. The blade pierced the recent opponent. Blood started flowing from his stomach. My new enemy fell to his knees in front of the corpse. Damn it, Adam! With no time to lose, I got to my feet, grabbed the foe by the head, and with one firm movement managed to break his neck. Soon the battle came to its end. The time laid for the reinforcements to deal with the enemies in less than an hour. After the battle, the territory of the whole camp was littered with corpses. I could feel mixed feelings that overwhelmed me. Again, this was war, not scaring me at all. Was it because of the shock? Was it after effect of the amnesia? Or was it just me? I tried not to pay attention to the emotions, but my intuition was whispering to me. That was a hint that would help me solve the mystery of my past. After the battle and protected our territories from the enemy, we all gathered in the room in the basement once again. The faces of the soldiers looked exhausted. The clash with the enemy gave birth to a a range of complicated feelings which seemed both usual and completely new in some way. For now I couldn't really think straight, but the thoughts were dancing in my head, as obscure the cloud. I could not grasp it yet. Well, look, we all fine. We never happened before. Some things will definitely happen for the first time. Helga's indifferent expression returned to the face. She lit a cigarette. Her face twisted with anger. She saw the battlefield seemed just like a phantom of my imagination. You shouldn't smoke it. It's forbidden after all. Helga looked cross-eyed at Oliver and intentionally let out a cloud of smoke out of her mouth. Her disregard for the rules made Oliver sigh in a hurt expression. Ellis is right after all. Where did he go? He's interrogating the survival enemies together with our commander. I hope he had a lot of them will get what he deserved. My own interrogation came back to me, and timing was terrible. And what will happen to them afterwards? Maybe our new recruit wishes to join them. Have you met some new friends there? Yakov, stop it. You know what he's on our side. We are yet to see proof that he was thinking of the same way, right? Nemo, would you like to get into that room again? I could try interrogating you with my own. I bet I would get better results. Have you finally invented the truth scum? Yakov scowled. I have a recipe for it, but for now I don't have the required ingredients. Because of non-existent in nature, perhaps? They exist. It's just our world is too limited for your mental capacity. Ruth was about to lash out at Yoko, but Helga stopped her, holding her around the shoulders and drawing her close. Can't you just ignore him? I'm tired to the bone, and we already know you need to fight to deal with our corpse outside. Ruin the walls and the standing equipment. Helga is right. Han suddenly got red in the face and looked down. His words were unnoted. Most likely they'll have everything in order by nightfall. I heard there's not much to restore, but the walls are part of the equipment on the trading grounds. We should stay here again? Most likely, yes. The commander told me not to let anyone out of the barracks, so it could let me out. I can't. Tisk, why are we the only ones the requirements to apply to? His general flapped his jaws in Orlick again. Ruth rested her face upon Helga's chest and hugged her. Sweetheart, I told you to be more gracious towards the commander. He's already doing a lot for us. In response, Helga shivered and tried pushing her away, but Rufa clung to her tightly, starting to giggle foolishly, thinking of the discontent was some kind of game. Hans and Wolfgang were the ones who paid special attention to what was happening between them. Helga doesn't like that. What do you know? Helga was so restrained in front of you guys. Were you alone? Completely indifferent, right, honey? I was watching their love-hate relationship with amazement. Helga rolled her eyes and pushed Ruth more firmly this time. The latter looked a bit more in disappointment from them. She flashed a blind smile. Let's continue from the back of our dorm, baby. Doris will be sleeping somewhere else tonight. Doris got tense and cast to make a meek loof at Ruth, acting as if her words didn't cause any reaction. How do you put up with these two? Good enough. Helga knows how to shut Ruth down. Not at all, Doris. I just can't take a look at my type of feelings jealous. Don't listen to her. Oh, what the hell. Ruth, that's enough. Get your stories out. Get your stories for one day. Leave some for tomorrow. But it's true. All girls should have a good taste. So I'm not surprising this whole camp isn't going crazy over me. Tell me, Wolfgang. Tell me. Tell them that I'm saying the truth. You made a list of fangirls just recently. Come on, read it out loud. Nemo needs to hear what I shouldn't mess with after all. I've already told you, I have no such intention. Suddenly, Ruth winked at me, and she was my partner in crime. All this meant a change, and we were told the Valley of Passion. Once we reach a fountain of life and drink from it, we tend to go and taste the next one. Wolfgang started shaking all of a sudden, pursed his lips as hard, and got teary-eyed. Was he laughing? But his laughter didn't last long, as he noticed one fixed his eyes and covered his mouth with an open diary and started coughing quietly. I couldn't understand what was going on, even though it seemed like we were serious and talked for some nonsense that was completely forgotten about people killing people just a while ago, or was it just an act? But what for? Wolfgang felt silent as quickly as he started laughing, and frowned again and hurried, rustling through the pages of his diary. His eyes moved restlessly in his notes. Ruth straightened, with one more eye a bit taller, and threw out her chest with pride. Title. No, wait, don't read the title. It doesn't mean anything. Why not? Perhaps it was a list of the girls you managed to cheat on Helga with. Ruth looked at her girlfriend with terror, but Helga, still smoking as if nothing happened, it seemed obvious what was happening. Of course not. I'm loyal to Helga. I don't need anyone else. They're just hitting on me. She tried snatching the notebook from Wolfgang's hand, but he stubbornly locked his hands onto it. Ruth started speaking in a sweet, soft voice, but I could hear the tingling hardly restrained from the threat of it. Let me read it myself, Wolfgang. There's a personal information in there, after all. But he wouldn't let go. No, only I am allowed to read my diary. I will give it to you again. You've already made fun of me. Suddenly, Ruth froze and looked rather frightened, but still stubborn. Wolfgang menacingly let go of his notebook and swayed a little bit. It didn't fall. The diary closely ragged in his glasses. Whatever then. There are many girls listed, and so bear in mind I won't even look at you. There was only one thing I couldn't understand, and that was what I asked. And why do you need a list of girls in Wolfgang's diary? Ruth lifted one eyebrow in surprise. She walked towards the table and leaned on her left arm, expressing superiority with all her body, as if she was an experienced lady killer talking to a timid young man. You see, Nemo, sometimes it might seem like there are too many girls, so many that it's hard to remember all of them. I wouldn't show any of those beauties that I've got to remember them. Let they approach me and talk to me of little things and recall previous meetings. It's good when Wolfgang is around. He always reminds me where I am, and when we haven't met a hot chick, I'm confident I don't think. But there's so many girls in our camp, especially beautiful as Helga. By the end of the sentence, Hans' voice extremely quiet. I think he was the only one that heard because I was sending close enough to hear someone else. I'm so tired of all your tall tales, Ruff. Do you think Nemo will believe you? Do you think we will believe that? Ruth straightened and blushed. Of course you do, because I never cheated on you. And then she started assulating Helga slightly with her feelings, and those feelings eternal. All she got in return was cold replies. Hans got completely embarrassed and hid behind his back. We still haven't decided with Mr. Nemo here. Don't you think that we have to attack our camp and show it here as too suspicious to be a coincidence? What if it's the first time the coincidence of the second? Ruth's agitated speech stopped. All gazes were turned to me and Yakov now. I felt uneasy. What if it was true? We've already talked about it, Yakov. He's not a traitor. That's just what I want you to think, however. Because of Nemo, he's a traitor. It would be me even more trouble. No, that's not it. I've already got used to him. I just can't imagine him being the enemy's side. Oliver smiled, but it looked and felt behind a happy expression, along with all who were present there. I trusted him. At least, his smile felt like a pure formality. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is all for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.